What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JB Sports back again with another one. This Saturday night, we got a unification match at 147 pounds. Errol the True Spence versus Shawn Showtime Porter. This should be a compelling matchup. Can't wait to watch it. I think it's going to be a good fight, man. I think it's going to be a real good fight. When you look at both fighters bring attributes to this matchup to make this a very exciting and entertaining fight. I think the key to the whole fight is going to be Errol Spence's precise, accurate punches. When you look at Shawn Showtime Porter, he's a very aggressive fighter, a guy that has a lot of will and throws a lot of punches, throws a huge volume of punches. And I just recently rewatched the Danny Garcia fight. And when I first watched that fight, I was like, okay, I thought Porter won the fight. I thought it was a close fight, but I thought Porter won the fight by a couple of rounds. But I went back and recently rewatched that fight, and the conclusion I came away with is Danny Garcia landed the more cleaner and the more effective punches, and he actually landed the more harder punches, the more telling punches. I thought Shawn Porter was the more aggressive fighter and threw more punches, and I think he swayed the judges by doing that. But it was a very close fight, and I took away from that fight that okay, Shawn Porter did box a little bit more. He stayed on the outside a little bit more and showed a little bit more versatility to his game. I don't know if he did that because of the wear and tear of the style of fight that he's fought. He fights a very rough, rugged fight that if you fight that way your whole career, you're not gonna have a long of a career as a fighter there like a Bernard Hopkins that's technically sound, James Toney, a guy that fought well past his prime and won a lot of big fights. Fighters that fighters of that ilk that are very technically sound and don't rely on just your athletic ability, and that's what Shawn Porter does, man. He relies on his athleticism, which has brought him a long way. He's got to give him credit, but that style of fighting is going to weigh you down, and I think Shawn Porter shows signs of that. That's why he's tried to box a little bit more, and I think that's going to be that's why he's in what you call a quandary. He needs to be that aggressive style because if he stays on the outside, he's not going to beat Errol Spence. He's going to need to be aggressive, but I don't know if he's as fresh as he was and he'll be able to fight that way and last in a fight against a guy that fights like Errol Spence. I think he's going to have to turn back the clock, to when he fought Keith Thurman. And that fight was like about a little over 3 years ago. A little over about 3 years and 3 months. I think they fought in June of 2016. So probably around about 3 years and maybe 3 months ago. And he's going to have to turn back the clock and fight that way. That guy was a very aggressive fighter, and he tried to bully Thurman and was successful a lot of times. He was able to bully Thurman on the ropes. The problem with that, trying that way against Errol Spence is stronger than Thurman. He's strong like Ugas. As you know, when Porter fought Ugas, Porter was not able to bully Ugas, and he's not going to be able to bully Keith. He's not going to be able to bully Errol Spence, and that's going to be the problem. I think he's going to try fight. I think Shawn Porter's going to fight the way he fought the Keith Thurman fight. I think he's going to turn back the clock and be that more aggressive fighter. I don't think he's going to box as much. He might do it at times, but I think for the most part, he's going to be aggressive like he was in the Thurman fight. The problem with that is, as you know, Thurman hurt Shawn Porter with looping punches, wide punches. Errol Spence is those straight punches, more precise and more accurate with his punches. So him fighting that way, similar to Thurman, and coming in that fight in Errol like that, he's going to end up getting caught with some straight, accurate shots, and that's why I think it's going to be his downfall. So I think Errol Spence is going to win this fight by unanimous decision or late stoppage. I just think he's the bigger, stronger guy. I don't think Shawn's going to be able to bully him like he couldn't bully Udonis Ugas. A lot of people say, well, he tried to box Ugas. The reason why they chose to box Ugas was he's got a smart trainer, his dad. Kenny Porter's a smart guy. He looked at Ugas' tapes and he saw that, okay, Ugas is strong. We're not going to be able to bully Ugas like we was able to bully Keith Thurman and to a certain extent Danny Garcia. We're not going to be able to bully. The guy's very strong. So that's why Kenny Porter came with that game plan to box Ugas. It wasn't because they was, we're going to show a different dimension. We're going to show that we got versatility to their game. Nah, the reason why they did that was because they watched film of Ugas. They knew they couldn't bully Ugas. And But they saw that way got a lot of people who didn't like the way Porter fought after that fight. A lot of people thought he lost. A lot of people said they didn't like that style of fighting, in that fight. And so I think what Porter's going to do, he's going to go back to his old style. He's going to try to turn back the clock, even though he's got a lot of wear and tear. He took a lot of punishment. That fight was a very rough fight. Took a lot out of both fighters. That I'm talking about the Keith Thurman, Shawn Porter fight. When both of them fighters left that fight, they wasn't the same fighter. As you know, I think Keith Thurman had one more fight after that. He went into that fight against Danny Garcia and won that fight, but he went in that fight injured. And after that, he took 2.5 years off because of injury. He wasn't the same fighter. As he came back and fought Lopez, wasn't the same fighter. Came back and fought Pacquiao, wasn't the same fighter. So that fight has taken a lot out of both fighters. Look at what Shawn Porter did after the Keith Thurman fight. He fought, I think he fought Durham. I think he might have fought him. And he fought Granados, struggled against Granados, won the fight. Fought Granados. Then he fought Danny Garcia and didn't look the same against Danny. Won the fight, very close fight. Won the fight that the judges gave him the decision, but didn't look the same. Now, he knows he can't fight the way he fought against Ugas against Errol Spence. So he's going to try to fight more like what he fought against Keith Thurman is. But the problem is, even if he be able to turn back the clock and fight that same aggressive style where he was able to bully Thurman against the rope, land a lot of hard shots to the biter, and overwhelm at times Thurman with his punch volume, he's not going to be able to do that with Errol Spence because, first of all, he's not going to be able to bully Errol on the ropes. That's not going to happen. Number two is, even when he was bullying Thurman on the ropes, Thurman was able to catch him with looping wide shots. Them shots that Errol's gonna be able to catch him with is gonna be more frequent than even Thurman caught him with. Cause I think he hurt Thurman hurt Porter maybe twice in that fight. Right, buckled his legs twice in that fight if you go back and watch it. Spence is gonna be able to hurt him multiple times, if not stop him, because his punches is not gonna be wide. His punches are gonna be straight. His punches are gonna be straight and precise. Both guys got a pretty good jab, so I think the jab is gonna be pretty much 50-50 on both parts. I think Porter jab is very underrated. He's got a very good jab. We all know Spence probably got the best jab in the welterweight division. Maybe you can make an argument for Crawford's jab, and Porter's got an underrated jab. So I think Porter has shown that he's able to jab with even taller guys. So I think the jab will be pretty much, for the most part, both be null and void. Put it like that. I think Spence probably has a better jab, more consistent jab, but Shawn Porter's jab is just as good to me. I'm not saying it's better, but it doesn't get the props it's supposed to get because it's underrated. A lot of people don't talk about it. They won't talk about his bullying tag, his aggression, his elbows, headbutts, but he actually has a real good jab, especially for a short guy. He has a real good jab, Got good. Porter has good head movement. He kind of reminds me of a mini Mike Tyson. Very good head movement. He knows how to get head movement. He knows how to get low and put the pressure on you to get you to put you on your back foot and back you up. And once he gets you to backing up, he really goes in. He steps on he puts his foot on the gas pedal and really goes in and tries to push you back and get in as quick and then try to overwhelm you with volume of punches to the body, to the head, anywhere he can land. So he'll attempt to do that against Errol Spence. But the problem is when he try to go in and bully Errol's gonna stand his ground. And like Ugas stood his ground, Shawn Porter ran into a brick wall when he tried to push Ugas back. And that's going to be the same thing that's going to happen when he tries to push Errol Spence back. He's going to run into a brick wall. So I think that's going to be the problem, man. I think Porter's going to fight like he fought against Keith Thurman, which is, he hasn't been the same since he fought Keith Thurman. Both guys haven't been the same. Both guys took a lot of punishment, and I think it took time off both guys' career as being fighters at the elite level. I think it did that to both fighters. Quiet as kept. And I think this fight is going to be very, very similar in ways to that fight as far as how Porter fights that fight. But I think Keith Thurman is not bad. I think Errol Spence is stronger than Keith Thurman. I think Errol Spence is more of a dog than Keith Thurman. So when Errol lands those precise punches and hurts Porter, I think he'll be able to have more success in trying to finish off and come with something behind that once he hurts Porter. Because one thing about the Thurman fight was Thurman was able to hurt Porter, but he didn't follow it up with anything. He wasn't able to follow it up with anything. He kind of hurt him a couple of times with his back against the ropes. He hurt Porter a couple of times. So when you kind of backed up and the guy's putting pressure on you, he's bullying you, and you land something to hurt him, Even though if you might hurt them and buckle their arms, you're not in a position to follow up with nothing after you hurt them. And that's the problem. Errol is going to not allow him to bully him on the ropes, and Errol's going to catch him trying to come in with some precise punches. And once he hurt him, Errol will be able to capitalize with that because his back won't be up against the ropes and in a position where he can't capitalize on it like Thurman was. His punches is going to be landing in the middle of the ring, or sometimes he's going to probably be backing up Porter. As you know, Ugas was able to back up Porter at times in that fight. So I just think it's just a bad stylistic matchup for Porter. It's a bad stylistic matchup for him, man. This guy is a bigger version, just a stronger, technically more sound, harder, more precise version of Udonis Ugas. You know, he's just taller and with a longer reach. You know, just as strong as Ugas, who gave Porter a problem. Technically more better than Ugas. Ugas is a good fighter. He coming out the Cuban background school of boxing, but Errol is more technically sound, got a better jab, even though I don't think the jab will come into play that much in the fight because both guys got good jabs, so I think they kind of going to nullify each other. They both going to be able to get off with the jab at times. But Errol is just as strong as Ugas. Errol is technically better than Ugas. Errol hits harder than Ugas. And Errol is more of a dog than Thurman. You know, he's more of a dog than Thurman. And Thurman beat Porter. You know, and I think he won that fight in a very competitive fight. Off them 2 times he hurt Porter. He was able to hurt Porter, and Porter didn't have the power to hurt Thurman. That's another thing with Porter. Outside of the Paulie Malignaggi fight, Porter has not shown the power at 147 to hurt fighters. He shows when I rewatched the Danny Garcia fight, he landed a lot of punches on Danny, but not one time did he really hurt Danny. You know, he went to the body, he landed some shots up top. Not one time he hurt Danny. Now Danny's got a good chin, but when Danny fought Keith Thurman hurt Danny Garcia multiple times. You know, even when Danny Garcia fought old glass jaw Amir Khan hurt Danny Garcia in that fight. But Shawn Porter just wasn't able to hurt him. So outside of the Paulie Malignaggi fight, and as you know, Paulie already alleged after that fight that Shawn Porter was on some. He shot some innuendos saying that Errol Spence Shawn Porter was on something. He implied that. Nothing ever was proven, as Shawn Porter has never failed a drug test in his whole boxing career. So that might have been sour grapes by Paulie Malignaggi, but he did insinuate that, and that was the only fighter at you can say that at the elite level that Shawn Porter has knocked out and stopped and showed devastating power against. Didn't show it against Thurman, didn't show it against Danny Garcia, didn't show it against Ugas. You know, I thought he was able to hurt Devin Alexander at times, but it wasn't nothing big time hurt. I ain't even say hurt. I think he about to stun Devin Alexander at times. I just think he just overwhelmed Devin with his aggressiveness, and overall punch volume. That's how I thought he won that fight. So we'll see what happens, man. But that's what I'm saying. I'm thinking Errol Spence. I ain't thinking, but I'm saying that Errol Spence will win this fight. Porter's not beating Errol. Errol's got too much tools in the toolkit for Porter. Porter's best bet is to fight the way he fought against Thurman, that aggressive, all-out brawl style, and that's his best chance. But the problem is, I still don't think it's gonna be good enough. I just think if he try that like we did with Thurman, man, he's not gonna be able to bully him like he did Thurman. And Spencer's more of an accurate puncher than Thurman. As Thurman, even with his wide looping punches, was able to hurt Porter twice. Now, what you think a precise, accurate puncher like Spence gonna do to him? So I see a late stoppage or unanimous decision by Errol Spence over Shawn Showtime Porter. This is JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend. I holla.